The immediate aftermath of the 1794 crisis is twofold. One is that the United States decides to build a navy. So in 1794, Congress authorizes the Naval Armament Act to start building a navy that then they could send to the Barbary States if needed. The other thing that happens is finally the negotiations actually do bear some fruit. So it's not until 1795, but they do eventually sign a treaty with Algiers in 1795. And it's important to distinguish between the Barbary states as a whole versus each individual state, because having a treaty with one does not in any way obligate the other Barbary states to cooperate. And in fact, it takes another year or two for the United States to lock down a treaty with Tunis and with Tripoli.
And so they will have to acquiesce. They'll have to give in a little bit when they negotiate treaties. And they will have to agree to pay some form of tribute. They will have to agree to pay for their hostages. And they're quite frankly, they're outraged. And there's this uproar in the United States from citizens who feel that what were the principles of the revolution? If we cannot change the way that we do business, we're just sliding into the same imperial system that we fought so hard to get out of. But then you have other politicians and diplomats and leaders of state just saying, like, look, this is how it is. We have to bide our time.
The treaty with Algiers itself was incredibly expensive. So most of the captives don't go home until months or even a little bit over a year later, because the United States had promised Algiers so much money that they couldn't actually get the capital to pay the Day of Algiers. And so the captives weren't going free until the money was in hand. So in the case of Algiers, the United States agreed to $600,000 of payment plus an additional $200,000 to ransom the captives, plus a warship. So that's about 50 times the amount of money that the Congress had appropriated for negotiating with Algiers. It equaled about $1 million, and it was by itself about a sixth of the federal budget. When you include Tunis and Tripoli into the mix, that's about another $250,000. And so by the end of negotiations with the Barbary states, the United States is paying the Barbary states about 20% of the federal budget, along with the payments that are going to the Barbary states because of these treaties. The other thing that happens is that the United States appoints a consul to each of these Barbary states. And those consuls are then responsible for maintaining the treaties. They're responsible for making the payments. They're responsible for dealing with any discrepancies that might come up, and they did come up quite frequently. And they're also responsible for keeping their respective rulers happy so that the treaty negotiations don't break down once again. This was not a particularly sustainable method of dealing with the Barbary states.
And so throughout the 1790s, the United States will create a bit of a crisis in the Barbary nations who are expecting their full annual tribute, and the United States stops paying them or only pays partially. And they're outraged. And what will happen in the latter 1790s, Tripoli and Tunis will expel the consuls. They will expel the diplomats on the ground, and eventually will wage war during the Jefferson administration.